Have you ever felt paralyzed by your own fears? Like there's an invisible force keeping you from stepping forward, from speaking up, from taking action. It's not bad luck. It's not fate. It's your doubts, your hesitation, your willingness to settle for less than you're capable of. Today that ends. Today we rip the mask off the comfort zone that's been suffocating your potential. No more hiding behind excuses. No more waiting for a miracle. No more pretending that tomorrow will somehow be different if you don't change today. If you want something more confidence, more success, more control over your life, it starts with facing the truth. A truth that may be uncomfortable but necessary. This real change demands radical honesty. And that's exactly what we're going to uncover right now. Fear doesn't announce itself. It doesn't knock on your door and declare war on your ambitions. It whispers. It plants tiny seeds of hesitation. It tells you maybe you're not ready yet. Maybe this isn't for you. Maybe you'll fail and everyone will see. And so you wait, you second guess, you let time slip by, convincing yourself that staying safe is better than taking a risk. But let me tell you something, fear is a liar. And doubt is its accomplice. Every time you hesitate, every time you back down, every time you let fear dictate your choices, you hand over the keys to your own life. It's time to take them back. Because if you don't control this, it will control you. There comes a moment in everyone's life when they're forced to look in the mirror and face what's really holding them back. Not circumstances, not other beats themselves. This is a battle that defines everything, the battle between who you are and who you could be. It's the moment where you either confront your own patterns, excuses, and fears, or you continue living in denial. Growth isn't comfortable. It demands that you look at the habits, the beliefs, and the choices that have been shortaging you. It requires you to admit that the biggest enemy you've ever faced has been living inside your own mind. But here's the truth, once you recognize this battle, you've already won half of it. Because awareness is power. And today you start reclaiming that power. Most people run from discomfort. They avoid the hard truths. They dodge the conversations that force them to acknowledge their weaknesses. But here's what they don't realize, vulnerability is the birthplace of real strength. If you're willing to be honest, truly honest about where you've been falling short, then you can finally change. The problem isn't failure. The problem is pretending it doesn't exist. So let's stop pretending. Let's call it what it is. If you've been lazy, admit it. If you've been making excuses, own it. If you've been living below your potential, stop justifying it. Because once you strip away the lies, what's left is pure, unshakable power. And that power is yours if you're brave enough to claim it. This isn't just another motivational talk. This is a blueprint, a battle plan, a call to action. Over the next few moments, we're going to break it all down, what's been holding you back, how to dismantle those barriers, and exactly what steps you need to take to regain control of your mind, your actions, and your future. You will leave this with more than inspiration. You'll leave with a mission, one that demands action, one that refuses hesitation, one that guarantees results if you're willing to put in the work. So I ask you, are you ready to face the truth and fight for the life you deserve? Because it starts right now. Fear and doubt are not just emotions, they are prisons. They are the invisible chains that keep you from stepping into the life you were meant to live. But let's be clear, fear isn't the problem. The real danger comes from how you respond to it. Fear is only powerful if you obey it. It thrives when you hesitate, when you shrink back, when you let it dictate your choices. Doubt works the same way. It creeps in like a shadow, whispering that you're not good enough, that you're not ready, that you don't have what it takes. And the moment you believe it, the moment you hesitate, it wins. But here's the truth, fear and doubt are liars. They only have as much power as you give them. So ask yourself, how much longer will you let them control you? Your fears didn't appear out of nowhere. They were planted by past experiences, by failures, by words spoken over you, by moments of rejection or pain. Maybe someone told you that you weren't good enough and you believed them. Maybe you failed once and now you're afraid to try again. Maybe you watched someone else struggle and now you assume the same fate awaits you. These past influences are shaping your present reality in ways you don't even realize. Every hesitation, every excuse, every moment of self-doubt has roots in something deeper. But the past doesn't have to define you. Just because you've believed these lies before doesn't mean you have to keep living by them. You have the power to rewrite the story. But first, you have to see the truth. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are the choices you make right now. Self-sabotage isn't always obvious. It doesn't show up as a blatant refusal to change. It's much more subtle. It looks like procrastination. It looks like perfectionism telling yourself you can't start until everything is just right. It looks like distraction, filling your time with meaningless tasks instead of what really matters. It looks like excuses, convincing yourself that you don't have enough time or energy or talent. These patterns might seem small, but over time they add up. They steal opportunities. They kill momentum. They leave you wondering why nothing ever changes. But now that you see them, you have a choice. You can keep making excuses, or you can break the cycle. Because the truth is, the only thing standing between you and the life you want is you. Fear has been sold to you as the enemy. Something to be avoided, something that means danger. But that's a lie. Fear isn't the enemy, it's a guide. Fear shows up when something matters. It appears at the edge of growth, at the doorway of opportunity, when you're about to step into something bigger than yourself. The problem isn't fear itself, the problem is what you do with it. Most people let fear stop them. But the ones who succeed, they feel the fear and move forward anyway. They recognize that fear is proof that they're pushing boundaries, that they're stepping outside the ordinary. So what will you do? Will you keep running from fear? Or will you start using it as a compass, as a sign that you're on the right path? If you want to change your life, you have to start by getting brutally honest with yourself. That means identifying the patterns, the habits, and the fears that have been running the show. So here's what you do. Grab a notebook. Write down the biggest fears that have been holding you back. Be specific. Don't just write, I'm scared of failure. Write what failure means to you. What exactly are you afraid will happen? What's the worst case scenario? Then ask yourself how much of this is actually real. How much of it is just a story you've been telling yourself? The moment you bring your fears into light, they start to lose power. Because fear thrives in the unknown. But when you name it, when you confront it head on, you take back control. And once you do that, there's nothing left to stop you. Most people avoid looking too closely at themselves. They distract, they justify. They pretend that everything is fine when deep down they know it's not. But if you want real change, you have to stop running. You have to face yourself. And not just the good parts, the fears, the failures, the self-doubt, the moments you let yourself down. It's not easy, it's uncomfortable. But that discomfort is where growth begins. Because once you see yourself clearly, you can no longer lie to yourself. You can't pretend that your excuses are valid. You can't hide behind someday. You have to take responsibility. And that is the first step to transformation. You spent so much time focusing on what's wrong that you've forgotten what's right. You've convinced yourself that your flaws define you, that your weaknesses outweigh your strengths. But let's shift that perspective. Every challenge you faced, every failure you've overcome, every fear you've fought through has given you something. It has built resilience. It has taught you lessons. It has made you stronger. But if you only see the mistakes, you miss the growth. You miss the strength that has been forged through your struggles. It's time to stop underestimating yourself. You are more capable than you give yourself credit for, but until you see it, until you own it, you'll keep holding yourself back. Self-awareness isn't just about realizing what's wrong. It's about understanding why. And that requires action. Here's how you start. Set aside time every day to reflect not just on what you did, but on why you did it. Ask yourself tough questions. What patterns keep showing up in your life? What excuses do you keep making? What fears keep holding you back? The more you ask, the more you'll uncover. And with that clarity comes the power to change. Because the truth is, you can't fix what you won't face. And once you start facing it, you'll realize you had control all along. You will never be perfect. No one is. But perfection isn't the goal. Growth is. Every mistake, every failure, every moment of doubt is an opportunity to learn, to adjust, to come back stronger. The people who succeed aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who refuse to let failure define them. They use their setbacks as fuel. They take every lesson, every pain, every struggle and turn it into something greater. And so can you. But first, you have to stop seeing your flaws as roadblocks. They are stepping stones. They are proof that you're still in the fight. And as long as you keep fighting, you cannot lose. Clarity means nothing without action. Now that you see the patterns, the fears, and the strengths within you, the question is, what will you do with that knowledge? Will you let it sit? Or will you use it? Self-awareness is the foundation, but action is the builder. You have everything you need to move forward. The only thing left is the choice. And that choice is yours to make. The way you talk to yourself matters. Your thoughts shape your actions and your reality. But too often the voice in your head is your worst enemy. It tells you that you're not smart enough, not strong enough, not capable enough. And after hearing it long enough, you start believing it. You don't question it. You don't challenge it. You let it dictate your choices, your confidence, your entire future. But here's the truth, those thoughts are lies. They were never facts. They were opinions shaped by fear, rejection, and past mistakes. And just as they were created, they can be destroyed. The first step to breaking the chains is recognizing the enemy within. Pay attention to the words you use when you talk to yourself. Would you say those things to a friend? If not, then why accept them for yourself? It's time to change the conversation in your head. Because if you don't believe in you, who will? Self-doubt doesn't come from nowhere. It's built over time, layer by layer, shaped by experiences, failures, and the words of others. Maybe you were told you weren't good enough. Maybe you failed in the past and convinced yourself that failure is who you are. Maybe someone made you feel small, and instead of rejecting their words, you carried them with you. But let's get one thing straight, your past does not define your future. Your past does not have to be a life sentence. The beliefs you've been holding on to were created by a version of you that didn't know any better. But you know better now. And that means you can let them go. You can replace them with new beliefs, ones that push you forward instead of hold you back. The question is, are you willing to let go of the lies you've been telling yourself? Identifying your barriers is one thing, breaking them is another. Here's how you do it. First, challenge your limiting beliefs. When you hear yourself say, I can't, ask yourself, why not? Who said that? Where did that belief come from? More often than not, you realize that it has no real foundation. Second, replace the negative with the truth. When your mind tells you, I'm not good enough, reframe it, I'm learning, and I'm getting better every day. Your words have power, so use them wisely. What's third? Take action. Fear thrives in inaction. The longer you wait, the bigger it grows. Move. Do something that scares you. Prove to yourself one step at a time that you are stronger than the doubts in your head. Because once you do, fear loses its grip on you. You don't get rid of fear by avoiding it. You get rid of fear by facing it. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't talent, it's mindset. The ones who rise aren't the ones who never feel doubt. They're the ones who refuse to let doubt control them. They see obstacles, and instead of saying, I can't, they ask, can I help? They understand that every problem has a solution, every setback is a lesson, and every failure is a stepping stone. This isn't about pretending things are easy. It's about shifting your focus. Because when you focus on the problem, you stay stuck. But when you focus on the solution, you move forward. And forward is the only direction that matters. Breaking barriers isn't a one-time event. It's a lifestyle. Every day you have to choose growth over comfort, action over fear, truth over doubt. That means surrounding yourself with the right influences. That means feeding your mind with books, mentors, and experiences that challenge you to level up. That means committing to daily habits that strengthen your mindset, whether it's journaling, affirmations, or simply refusing to entertain negativity. Success isn't about one big breakthrough. It's about the small choices you make every single day. And every day you have a choice where you keep playing small or will you step into the person you were meant to be. Failure isn't the end of the road. It's part of the journey. Every successful person you admire has failed probably more times than you can count. But the difference, they didn't let failure define them. They saw it for what it really was, a lesson. Redirection, but that's the resilience of failure is quitting. As long as you keep moving, every setback becomes fuel for a comeback. So stop seeing failure as proof that you're not good enough. Start seeing it as proof that you're trying, that you're growing, that you're in the game. And as long as you're in the game, you still have a chance to win. Every failure carries a lesson if you're willing to look for it. Maybe it's teaching you patience. Maybe it's showing you a weakness that needs work. Maybe it's exposing something that wasn't right for you. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Ask, what can I learn from this? Growth isn't about avoiding failure, it's about using failure. Because the ones who succeed aren't the ones who never fall. They're the ones who rise every single time. Tough times are unavoidable. Pain is part of the process, but suffering is optional. The difference lies in how you respond. Do you let hardship break you, or do you let it build you? Do you dwell on what went wrong, or do you extract the lesson and move forward stronger? Every challenge you face has given you something: wisdom, strength, resilience. But if you focus only on the pain, you miss the gift. So take the lesson, let go of the rest, and keep moving forward. Your success isn't determined by how many times you fall. It's determined by how many times you get back up. Persistence is the game changer. It's what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Life will test you. It will knock you down. But the question is, will you stay down or will you rise? Because the moment you decide to keep going, no matter how hard it gets, you become unstoppable. Look back at every setback you face. What did you learn? What did it teach you about yourself? Now use that knowledge, adjust your strategy, strengthen your mindset. Move forward with more resilience and more fire than before. Your failures don't define you, your response to them does. So make the choice to rise because your greatest victories are waiting on the other side. Picture life where fear doesn't hold you back, where you take action, speak up, chase your goals without hesitation. That life is possible, but it starts with seeing it, believing it, taking steps toward it. Fear will always be there, but it doesn't have to control you. The life you want isn't waiting on luck, it's waiting on. Big dreams don't happen overnight, they happen through consistent, focused action. Set clear goals, break them down into steps, then take the first one. Because every great achievement starts with a single move in the right direction. Your dreams are meaningless with action. Vision alone won't change your life, execution will. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't luck or talent, it's determination. The ability to keep pushing forward even when fear creeps in, even when doubt whispers in your ear. Your mission is more than a dream, it's a responsibility. It's a commitment to yourself to step into the person you were meant to be. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for permission. Your future depends on what you do right now. And right now you have a choice, keep playing small or step up and take control. Uncertainty is uncomfortable, but it's also necessary. Growth happens in the unknown. Every breakthrough, every success story, every innovation was born out of someone stepping into uncertainty and figuring it out along the way. The people who win in life aren't the ones who never feel fear, they're the ones who refuse to let fear stop them. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to start. Take one step, then another. Adjust as you go. But do not let the fear of failing keep you from trying, because the only real failure is refusing to begin. A vision without a plan is just a fantasy. You need a strategy. Break your vision into small, achievable steps. What can you do today that brings you closer to where you want to be? Maybe it's learning a new skill. Maybe it's eliminating a bad habit. Maybe it's simply deciding that you're done making excuses. Every great achievement starts with a single step. So don't wait, make a plan, take action, and start moving toward the life you were meant to live. You know what you want. Now it's time to build the roadmap to get there. The biggest mistake people make is waiting for the right moment. There is no right moment. The moment is now. Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. Write down your goals, set deadlines, and commit to consistent action. No more waiting, no more hesitating. Your future starts with what you do today. Success isn't built in a day, it's built in your daily habits. What you do every single day compounds over time, shaping your reality. So take control of your routine. Wake up with intention. Feed your mind with knowledge, set clear priorities. Take small but meaningful steps toward your goals. Success isn't a mystery. It's the result of disciplined daily effort. So if you want change, start by changing what you do every day. Vague goals lead to vague results. If you want to make progress, you need clear, measurable targets. Define exactly what you want and create a plan to get there. Set deadlines, track your progress. Adjust when necessary. The difference between a wish and a goal is action. So stop wishing, start planning, and more importantly, start doing. The road to success isn't a straight line. You will face obstacles. You will have setbacks. But setbacks don't mean stop. They mean adjust. Stay accountable to your goals. Surround yourself with people who push you forward. Adapt when necessary, but never lose sight of where you're going. The only way you fail is if you quit, so don't quit. Keep moving forward no matter what. Every small victory matters. Every step forward counts. Too many people focus only on how far they have to go and forget to acknowledge how far they've come. Celebrate your progress. Use this fuel to keep pushing. The journey isn't just about reaching the destination, it's about becoming the person who's capable of getting there. And you're doing that one step at a time. You started this journey trapped by fear and self-doubt. But now you see the truth. You are not your failures, you are not your fears. You are the choices you make from this moment forward. You have the power to change, you have the power to take control. Everything you need has been inside you all along. The only question left is, what are you going to do with it? There's no more time to wait. No more time to hesitate. Every moment you delay is a moment you'll never get back. The time to take action is now. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now, if you don't confront your fears, they will control you. If you don't take action, you will stay stuck. This is your wake-up call. No more excuses. No more waiting. It's time to move. This is not just another speech, this is a turning point. A decision, a commitment. The decision to stop letting fear run your life. The commitment to take control, to push forward even when it's hard, to keep going even when you want to quit. Growth isn't easy. Change isn't comfortable, but nothing worth having ever is. So commit to yourself, commit to your future, and never ever back down. Here's what you do next. Write down one fear that's been holding you back. Then write one small action you can take today to challenge that fear, not tomorrow, not next week, today, because action is the antidote to fear. Action is what separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck. So take action, take control, and start moving toward the life you deserve.